So last night was the end of the in-season tournament, and the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Oklahoma City Thunder by quite a lot, and honestly it really wasn't that competitive of a game, but I just wanted to kind of talk about the tournament in general and sort of give my opinion on why you should really love the in-season tournament, because I think it's an awesome addition to November and December basketball, and I think it makes the regular season a lot more interesting. If you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Every subscription really counts, every like really counts, and let's just get into it. So this in-season tournament game was not amazing. Oklahoma City shot really bad from three, and Shea got put in jail for quite a bit of the game. Giannis sort of went off. He really just could not be denied by pretty much anything that the Thunder threw at him, and the Bucks shooting was amazing. I think this is sort of a sign that the Thunder need a little bit more three-point shooting. They're gonna need Chet Holmgren back, and they're going to need other offensive options to take the burden off of Shea a little bit. I think OKC has so many stalwart role players, a lot of guys who are really hard-nosed defenders who play basketball the right way. I think they could use a little randomness in their offense. A guy like a Malik Monk, maybe a Terry Rozier, like a sixth man of the year candidate sort of player who plays that sixth man of the year role traditionally. I think that could go a long way for an OKC team that's like 18th or 19th in the league in offensive rating. For the Bucks, this was a very solid game. They got great contributions from a lot of their three-point shooters. Again, Giannis was awesome. Brook Lopez was very solid in this one. And generally, I'm very encouraged by the way the Bucks played in this game. I'm still not sure if the Dame and Giannis tandem is going to be consistent enough, and if they're going to be running enough pick and rolls to really break the best defenses in the NBA every night, especially when their shooters aren't hitting. I just don't know if this team has enough go-to offense consistently. But I guess if this defense can maintain itself, and if that offense can continue to chug along, and if the depth is solid enough, I think they just need to kind of get rid of Bobby Portis, maybe turn Bobby Portis into another good role player, and this team is well on its way to contending again this year. So overall, really encouraging stuff from the Bucks. I think it was really cool that the team was very clearly really hyped up to win this. It's very evident, I think, that the players are really invested in this cup, and it really matters to them going out here and competing. I wish we would see that in the All-Star game. I'll be talking about the new All-Star game format later in the week, but this was really a good tournament overall. We had some standout games here and there. The Rockets versus the Thunder was also great. We had the Hawks and the Bucks in the semifinal as well, which was a really entertaining game. Just a lot of fun stuff up and down. Every year you get to sort of see one team really showcase what they can really do in this tournament. Last year, I think the Pacers really demonstrated that they were a legit team that was not to be fucked with in the Eastern Conference, and they ended up making the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think this year the Bucks really got to show us that they are not dead in water. There's no Giannis trade in sight, and this team is very solid. And I think the in-season tournament is amazing for this. We get to see these young teams, these really hungry teams who are really invested in winning these sorts of games, really come out here and show out. We see a team like Boston, they've got such a deep, powerful roster in terms of just raw talent, or a team like Cleveland that is sort of coasted maybe the last few weeks, dropping a few games here and there. These teams are not really designed for the in-season tournament. I think the in-season tournament is sort of a benchmark that you want your team to reach to prove that you're sort of moving in the right direction. I think it's really fun for that. Not only does it make these games in December, which are usually really monotonous coming up to Christmas, a lot more interesting. Not only are the court designs cool as hell, but it sort of gives a couple of teams the opportunity to take the spotlight in the national media where they otherwise wouldn't. If the Hawks were in this game, yes, the league would be cooked in terms of revenue, but it's still interesting when you get to see a team that isn't the Knicks or the Celtics or the Lakers or one of the big markets get this attention. In this case, it was OKC and the Bucks, who are both very good teams. There's levels to it. I still think OKC is much better than Milwaukee. I still don't think Milwaukee is a bona fide contender, but you get to see Giannis actually put back in the spotlight. It feels like Giannis is one of the most disrespected stars in the NBA routinely. He is not covered nearly enough for a guy that is built like prime Shaq mixed with prime LeBron. And I think it's really great that we get to see him put out these dominant performances. He's definitely top 3 in the MVP ladder, and as long as the Bucks continue to win games against good teams, I definitely think he has a chance to win it, although Jokic is he's on a whole nother level this season. Yeah, I think the in-season tournament's really great. I think that it really is one of the gimmicks that the NBA has tried out in the last few years that has actually worked. Trying to mix up the All-Star game never really seems to last and work well for more than like 1 year at a time, and this new All-Star game format is, in my opinion, terrible. I think the 2-day draft idea is really bad. So I think the fact that the NBA tried something new with this in-season tournament and it's actually working is really, really cool. I think they should continue to try shit like this, try to innovate around the edges, because I think this sort of competitive spirit, this sort of rivalry that it allows these teams to build during the season, especially like OKC and Houston, I think that's going to be a serious rivalry in the West going forward, or OKC and San Antonio. And I think if the in-season tournament is going to be a catalyst for that, then I think it's going to be really, really fun. It also gives us a chance to like sort of see, because ultimately it's going to be the better teams who are, on the whole, it's going to be better teams that make it out of the tournament, who make it to the top. You know, OKC is the best team in the West. Milwaukee's a top 5 seed in the East. It's usually going to be better teams. We get to see which teams are really legit, and we get to see these really competitive heavyweight matchups, and they just get to be tacked on to the rest of the schedule. And I think if the NBA wants to sort of fix this rating issues that they've been going through, I think promoting this in-season tournament more heavily, maybe even making it bigger, maybe making the cash prizes bigger as well, could make it worthwhile for fans. I think the NBA needs to start like really making these games during this part of the year seem more competitive and more like playoff games, and maybe cut down the schedule and just sort of like really improve on the quality and the promotion of basketball around this time of year, because I think the NBA season is so goddamn long and there's so much oversaturation of basketball content that we really need to just focus on like the big events and really highlight things like the in-season tournament, because I think it's really good for the game, and I think it's really exciting to see how these young teams have sort of responded to it. And overall, I'm a huge fan of the in-season tournament, and I thought this was a really great year for it, and I can't wait to see it progress, and I can't wait to see them add on to it in the years to come. But if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Make sure to go follow all the socials down below. We've got the TikTok down there. We've got the Twitch. We've got the Instagram. I'm making all sorts of content on those platforms, hopefully in the next few weeks. And I will catch you in the next one. Cue that music.